Good morning, students. The poem which we are going to do today is We Are the Music Makers. This poem is in the form of an ode, right? Now, can you tell me what is an ode? What do you mean by ode? Ode is a type of a poem which expresses a very strong feeling of respect, adoration, love for someone or something. So in this poem, as the title itself suggests, that the poet has praised and elevated the artists, right? It's music makers, but he has talked about all the types of artists in general, right? Like the poets, the musicians, the singers, and the writers. So these are the artists. So he has talked in general about all the types of artists. So ode is a, you can say, a very serious, dignified, exalted piece of writing. So this is in this particular poem, the poet will praise the artist. Before we start with the poem, let's talk about the theme of the poem. The last paragraph of the introduction contains the theme. By far the most noted of any of his works is the ode from his book Music and Moonlight, also known as We Are the Music Makers, from its opening line. It is the poem dedicated. So this poem is dedicated to the This poem is dedicated to the artists, poets, writers, musicians, and the people who live in the world of fantasy and built utopias of their own. What do you mean by utopias? Utopia is an imaginary place where everything is perfect, like all the law and order, the government, the society, and everything is flawless and perfect. So that perfect state, which is obviously imaginary, so that is utopia. So they live in their own world. The poets, the artists, the musicians, the singers, they live in their own world. They are the world, they are called as world losers and world forsakers, people who have opted out of the rat race to pursue their dreams. So they are not a part of the rat race. All these artists, they are not a part of the rat race of the rest of the world, right? Any normal human being, they are running a race, right? So because they have a lot of ambitions which they need to fulfill, right? But these people, that is these artists, they are out of this rat race. They lead a secluded life, right? They don't mingle with the rest of the society, but still they are the movers and the shakers of the world, who have opted out of the rat race to pursue their dreams, and perhaps through their dreams bring about the changes in the world. So this is what the poet has explained in this poem, that though these artists and poets, they stay away from the rest of the world, right? They lead a secluded life. They will be found in the solitary corners of the earth, but still their art has the caliber, their art has the ability to change the entire world. Why? Because they don't think on the lines of the rest of the world. They think differently. And you need to think differently to bring about change. The rest of the world doesn't think, right? They keep on running and following the norms of the society. Anyone who wants to bring about change in the society will have to first think differently, right? If I agree to everything which is happening around me, why would I like to change it? So because they enter into conflict with the rest of the world, so that is why they are the ones who form rules which the rest of the world follows, right? So let's talk about the themes of the poem. The first and the major theme of the poem is the transformative power of art, right? Art is very powerful, right? It can transform, it can bring about great changes, transform anything completely. Art, the ideas of the artist, they inspire the society, right? Though these artists are considered as escapists. Why are they considered as escapists? Because they seclude themselves from the rest of the world. So that is why the world calls them as losers, losers and forsakers, right? Why? Because they keep themselves away from the rest of the world, but still they inspire the society, right? How do they inspire the society? With their art, right? And their piece of art, their creation, it acts as a catalyst and brings about the change in the society. So it is their art is an important instrument of bringing about social change, and art is something which can rouse people's emotions and force them to rebel, right? Artists don't go and rebel. Their creation has such an impact which forces people to rebel against anything which is not right, right? It provokes them, right? It rouses their emotions, and then the people, they rebel and demand change. So this is the major theme of the poem. That is the transformative power of art. How does art bring about great changes in the society? The art, which is the creation of these artists, these great people, how it helps in bringing about change in the society and transforming the society. Another theme is that the poet has opposed art for the art's sake. This theme has been opposed by the poets. Sorry. That is art for the art's sake. We'll discuss it later on after we have done the poem. We are the music makers and we are the dreamers of dreams, wandering by lone street bakers and sitting by desolate streets, world losers and world forsakers, upon whom the pale moon gleams. Yet we are the movers and shakers of the world forever in sea. We are the music makers. We are the music makers means we are the musicians, right? Actually, here the word we means that it is the collective voice of all the artists. He's not talking about any particular type of artist. He's talking about all the artists in general, right? So he says that this word we has included all the types of artists, right? We are the music makers. That means we are the artists, we are the musicians, and we are the dreamers of dreams. Dreamers of dreams, special reference to the poets, right? We are the artists, especially the poets, because poets are the people who dream and they write about things which are out of the world. So music, this line itself is talking about the transformative power of art, right? So music has the ability to transfer you from this reality which is harsh, from all the dull, harsh, bleak realities of the world, and take you to the dreamland, right? That means where everything is ideal. You must have read so many poems which talk about great things, which are far away from the reality. It transfer you to the world of fantasy. Dream means which is far away from reality. Dreams are not reality. So we are the dreamers of dreams. So we stay away from the mundane realities, right? And we live in the world of dreams, wandering by lone sea breakers. And where are we to be found? Physically also we stay away from this real world. We are to be found by the lone sea breakers. Lone sea breakers means lonely, where most people, they don't go, right? Most of the people, they don't like visiting those lone solitary areas, right? Sea breakers means large waves of the sea. Will be found in places where there are large waves of the sea, right? So the poet means to say that we will be normally found wandering on the seashores, right? And sitting by desolate stream. And sometimes desolate means forlorn, lonely, right? See, lone sea breakers, desolate. What is the poet trying to tell us in these lines? That we stay away from society, right? We like being left alone. These artists, they like being left alone. They don't mix with the rest of the world. And sitting by desolate streams, right? Sitting by desolate streams means that sometimes we wander on the seashores, and sometimes we like to sit next to the, like to sit alone next to the streams and the small rivers. World losers and world forsakers. So we are, the world thinks us to be losers and forsakers, right? We have been termed as world losers and world forsakers. Why world losers? Because we are not a part of the rat race, right? We are not ambitious. We are not running a race like the rest of the world. So that is why we have been termed as losers, right? And world forsakers. World forsakers means we have forsaken the world. We have left the world, right? So upon whom the pale moon views. So we also like to, pale moon means it's a reference to the night, right? So upon whom we like to visit these lonely places during the time of night also, when the rest of the world is sleeping. We might be awake, creating something, right? So pale moon means the moon which is not shining very brightly. Right? So that's the moon which is shining with a faint light, not very bright light. So that is upon whom the pale moon gleams. Upon whom, how will the pale moon gleam upon them? When they will be out of the house during night. So we can be found in these places during the time of night. Yet we are the movers and shakers of the world forever. So though we are the world losers and world forsakers, though the people of this world, they think us to be losers and forsakers, yet we are the movers and the shakers of the world forever. Yet what happens? We, our creation, enables these people, the people who belong to the rest of the world, it enables them to rebel. It shakes them from inside. It shakes, it has the ability and the power to shake the entire society, entire social setup, and bring about change in the society. This change helps the society to move forward, to move ahead, right? So we are the ones who are the movers and shakers, who move, who bring about any kind of motion and commotion in the world. Right? So despite remaining aloof from the society, these artists, they have the caliber to move and shake the world through their art. With wonderful deathless deities, we built up the world's great cities. With wonderful deathless. Deathless means everlasting, eternal, which will never die. Deities means songs, right? So here the poet is referring to the writers. So we write wonderful songs, we create wonderful deities, which are everlasting, perennial, which will always be there, which will never die, right? Which are immortal. So we create these immortal songs. By our immortal songs, what do? We build up the world's great cities, right? In our songs, we, through our writings, what does a writer do? He imagines certain things and he starts writing about them. So we, in our piece of writing, we have created the great cities in the world, right? And out of fabulous story, we fashion an empire's glory. So we write fabulous stories which talk about the great empires and the glory of great empires. We are, our pen has the power to write extremely fantastic, extremely good stories, right? See, that is the word of that is like a piece of fiction, They can imagine anything. They can imagine about the great empires and they start writing about it. Right? So we have used our pen and written about the great empires in our story. One man with a dream and pleasure shall go forth and conquer the crown. We give the power to a single man, to a single common man to go and conquer the crown, which is really possible. It's very difficult. But in our stories, we write such fabulous, such wonderful stories that in our story, a single human being, a common man has the power to go and overthrow the empire. The greatest empires are overthrown, crushed by a single common person. So through our writings, what happens in our writings? A single person, any normal person, at pleasure, if he desires, it is entirely his pleasure that he can go ahead and conquer the crown. Right? This is the liberty which we give to our character about whom we write. And 3, with the new song's measure, can trample an entire and can trample an empire down. And 3 people can go and crush the empire. Right? One person, we give this right to one person to go and conquer the empire, and 3 of them in our songs, what do? They can go and crush the greatest empire. This is the power which we give to our characters whenever we write. Right? So this is like the poet means to say that the songwriters and the writers of the story, what do? They give freedom to any common people to bring about a revolution or a downfall of the empire. Trample means crash, right? So we give this power to our character. We give power to the common person to bring about a revolution and downfall of the empire. Why do the writers do it? To bring about change in the society, right? What happens when the normal people, when the common people, they read these type of songs and stories, they are motivated and they also want to go and crush a cruel emperor, right? Bring about a bad rule and re-establish the good one, right? When they read these stories, they are inspired to do it. That is why the writers and the poets and the artists, they have been called as the world movers and shakers, because it is only in their piece of work that they give this liberty, this freedom to one single person to go and conquer the crown at his will. At pleasure means at his will. If he so desires, a single person can go and conquer, go ahead and conquer the crown, and 3 of them can crush the empire. What happens as a result of it? When people read these stories and these poems and these songs, what happens to them? They feel motivated, right? And it awakens courage in them, and they start comparing themselves to those characters and say that if this person can do it in the story, I also can do it. And then they bring about change. See, these writers and the poets, they don't go up and bring about a rebellion. They are not rebellious. They bring about a rebellion with their pen only. They don't go and physically participate in it. It is through their writings that they bring about change. Why? Because they force the people to think. And when these people, they start thinking on the lines of these poets and the artists, they realize that this, whatever is happening around us is not correct, and we really need to do something about it, to change it. So this realization is brought about by the poets, and then the people, the rest of the people of the rest of the world, the people of the society, they act upon the suggestions and the advice which are given by these artists. We in the ages line We in the ages lying in the buried past of the earth built Nineveh with our sign and Babel itself with our mirth, and overthrew them with prophecy to the old of the new world's birth. For each age is a dream that is dying and one that is coming to birth. Right? So the poet says again, we is the collective address. The poet is talking about the collective voice of all the artists. So all the artists, they say that we in the ages lying in the buried past of the earth. He says that our creations, our great works, they are lying in history. In the buried past of the earth means they in the ruins, which are found in different corners of the world. That is what? That is our creation. Right? So the ancient ages, the work which we did in the past, that is in the form of ruins in the present time. Right? See, this is the biblical reference to two great cities, that is Nineveh and it is an illusion from the Bible, right? These two are the biblical cities, right, of Nineveh and Babel. And what is the poet trying to suggest in these lines? That why has the poet talked about biblical cities? That just to show that our work is divine, right? So our creation is divine. Art is a divine creation, and art itself creates divinity. That is why he has referred to biblical city. We in the ages lying in the buried past of the earth. So this is an illusion. The figure of speech used here is an illusion, right? So he says that we in ages lying in the buried past of the earth. So our work is now our work, the great work which we did in the past, that is in the form of ruins in the present time, right? We are lying buried deep down. Our work, our great works of the past, they are lying buried in the earth. Build Nineveh with our sign. Now you need to remember the story of Nineveh and Babel. So you can note it down. Note it down. Just note it down. Nineveh was an ancient Assyrian city, right? Assyria. So it was a city in the state of Assyria of Upper Mesopotamia, which was now present-day Iraq, right? So Nineveh was an ancient Assyrian city of Upper Mesopotamia, now in Iraq. It was the flourishing capital of the Assyrian Empire. The city was founded by Nimrod, and it has a reference in the Bible. The city was ruined and then it was never built again. So once the city of Nineveh was destroyed, it was never built again. So Nineveh with our sign means once we are depressed, right? When the poet is depressed, what does he do? He writes about Nineveh. In his creation, he writes, in his piece of writing, he writes about places like Nineveh, which were destroyed and which were never rebuilt. So destroyed and never rebuilt means talking about sad things, right? So when the poet is depressed, he builds cities like Nineveh, right, which were ruined, and Babel itself with our mirth. Mirth means happiness. Sign means sorrow. So sorrow or being depressed. So when the artist is depressed, he builds cities like Nineveh through his writing, and when the artist is happy, he brings cities like Babel. Write about Babel also. The illusion related to Babel also. The people of Babel, they were very happy and they wanted to build a tower. so high, right? A very high tower they wanted to build so as to reach God. They wanted to be equal to God, right? So because they thought that they are very united amongst themselves and together they can reach God. So the people of this city, they decided to build a very huge tower, right, with great height so that they are able to reach heaven. So what happened? The God didn't like their idea and he punished them by giving them different languages. So God gave the people, gave different languages to the people of Babel. And what will happen if they will speak in different languages? See, they were very proud of their unity. The people of Babel were very proud of their unity. And so they decided that together they can reach God. They can bring, they can make a tower with such great height which will be able to reach God, right? So they started doing it, but God was annoyed. This annoyed God and he punished the people of Babel by giving them different languages. What will be a result of it? That everyone will talk in a language that the other person will not understand. So the unity which was there, it will disappear. So this is what happened to the people of Babel, that they, because they were given different languages by God, and so the people were not able to understand what each other, what they were, what the other person was trying to communicate. And so that tower was not built. Right? So, and Babel itself, with our mirth, when we are very happy, we create cities like Babel, and when we are depressed, we create cities like Nineveh through our writing and overthrow them with our prophecy. And we don't only create, we also overthrow them, is destroy them, destroy our own creation. The artist has the courage, has the guts to destroy his or her own creation. First, we create, whenever we are sad and depressed, we create cities like Nineveh. And whenever we are happy, with our mirth, with our happiness, in our happy mood, we create cities like Babel and overthrew them with prophecy. Prophecy means predicting, right? So, with our and overthrow them with prophecy. So, with our own prediction, we overthrow our greatest creation to the old of the new world's world. Why? Because change is the rule of the world. The old things must be changed, must be replaced by new things. The old things which are irrelevant, right, which were created in the past and are irrelevant to the present, they should be overthrown, they should be destroyed, and new things should come up, right? So that is the reason why we overthrow or we destroy our own creation, right? So for each age is a dream that is dying or one that is coming to birth. So why? Because this change is something which is eternal in this world. Each age is dying and the next one is coming to birth. Every moment something is dying and something is being created. This is the law of the world. This is the process which will keep the world moving. And so that is why, because the artists are aware of this fact, so they keep on destroying their own creation, and at the same time they keep on creating something new. So the artists have the power to create and destroy at the same time. Why? Because every age is a dream that is dying and one that is coming to birth. So death and birth are interrelated, right? When something will die, then something else will be born. So this is a continuous process which goes on in this world. So when the world doesn't need a particular thing, right, which was created in the past, so the artists, they have the courage to destroy their own creation for a better and a worthy future. If they feel that their creation is no longer relevant to the present world, they will destroy their own creation and bring about something new and give birth to something new. Because dreams and aspirations, they drive in each era, right? In each age, and new dreams and new aspirations, they are born or they come to life. So with this, we come to the end of this poem. Thank you. If you have any problem with me.